CHiPs is an American television drama series produced by MGM Studios that originally aired on NBC from September 15, 1977, to July 17, 1983. CHiPs followed the lives of two motorcycle police officers of the California Highway Patrol. The series ran for 139 episodes over 6 seasons. Synopsis: CHiPs was a lightweight action crime drama, which included elements of comedy in every episode. Over-the-top freeway pile-ups, which occurred in almost every episode, were a signature of the show. There was little if any actual violence on CHiPs, and the show can be classified as a dramedy. The episodes filled a standard hour-long time slot, which at the time required 48 minutes of actual programming. The show was created by Rick Rossner, and starred Eric Estrada as macho, rambunctious officer Francis Llewellyn Poncherello and Larry Wilcox as his straight-laced partner, Officer Jonathan John Baker. With Ponch the more trouble-prone of the pair, and John generally the more level-headed one trying to keep him out of trouble with the duo's gruff yet fatherly commanding officer Sergeant Joseph Gatrara, the two were highway patrolmen of the Central Los Angeles office of the California Highway Patrol. As real-life CHP motor officers rarely ride in pairs, in early episodes this was explained away by placing the trouble-prone Ponch on probationary status, with John assigned as his field training officer. Eventually, by the end of the first season, this subplot faded away as audiences were used to seeing the two working as a team. A typical CHiPs episode. CHiPs episodes were usually a combination of light comedy and melodrama. A typical episode would start with Ponch and John on routine patrol or being assigned to an interesting beat, such as Malibu or the Sunset Strip. In roll call briefing, Sergeant Gatrara would alert his officers to be on the lookout for a particular criminal operation, such as people staging accidents as part of an insurance scam or punks breaking into cars. A few interesting, unrelated vignettes often transpired during the course of routine traffic enforcement. A light-hearted subplot would also be included, such as Harlan trying to hide a stray dog from Gatrara at the office. A more serious theme, such as Ponch trying to keep a kid from his old neighborhood out of a potential life of crime, might also be included. After a few failed attempts to apprehend the gang that had been menacing LA's freeways, the episode would invariably culminate in Ponch and John leading a chase of the suspects, climaxing with a spectacular series of stunt vehicle crashes. The show then typically featured a dour copyright movement of Ponch and John participating in a new activity, designed to showcase the pair's glamorous Southern California lifestyle. Often, Ponch would attempt to impress a woman he had met during the episode with his athletic prowess or disco dancing, only to fail and provide John, Gatrara, and others with many laughs. As the preliminary end credits would start, the image would freeze multiple times, showing various characters laughing or otherwise enjoying the social scene. Some of the more outlandish plots included Ponch and John helping a girl who believed that she was being targeted by UFOs and then racing against time to defuse a battery about to explode on an intelligent experimental police robot. Officers rarely drew their service weapons on the show. Officer Barry Barrica was the only officer to ever draw a gun. Production: according to a 1998 TV Guide article, show creator Rick Rossner was a reserve deputy with the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department. During a coffee break on an evening patrol shift in the mid-1970s he saw two young CHP officers on motorcycles which gave him the idea for the series. He later created 240 Robert, which seemed like a hybrid of CHiPs and Emergency. Episodes occasionally reference John Baker's service in Vietnam. This makes his character one of the earliest regular portrayals of a Vietnam veteran on television. Larry Wilcox served 13 months in Vietnam as a Marine artilleryman. Though public perception links the later P-Series Kawasaki Police Special with the series, in fact they rode the C-Series Kawasaki, which had an oval windshield rather than the later model's fiberglass fairing. Filming locations were generally in the San Fernando Valley of California. Freeway crashes were performed on recently constructed highways that were not yet open to the public. For the first season, the Glendale Freeway in Montrose, California was used. After the first season, the intersection of the Foothill Freeway and the Smi Valley Freeway in Silma, California were used. For the racing scenes in the episode Drive, Lady, Drive they used the Riverside International Raceway in Riverside, California. Although doubles were used for far-off shots and various stunt or action sequences, Wilcox and Estrada did a great deal of their own motorcycle riding, and performed many smaller stunts themselves. Although Wilcox emerged relatively injury-free, Estrada suffered various injuries several times throughout the run of the series. In several early first-season episodes, a huge bruise or scar can be seen on his arm after he was flung from one of the motorcycles and skidded along the ground. But his worst accident came when he was seriously injured in a motorcycle accident while filming a Season 3 episode in August 1979, fracturing several ribs and breaking both wrists. The accident and Estrada's subsequent hospitalization was incorporated into the series' storyline. Prior to being cast in CHiPs, Estrada had no experience with motorcycles, so he underwent an intensive 8-week course, learning how to ride. In 2007 it was revealed that he didn't hold a motorcycle license at the time CHiPs was in production, and only qualified for a license after 3 attempts, while preparing for an appearance on a reality television show, Back to the Grind. Estrada and Wilcox never drew their firearms over the course of the series. The only character on the series depicted as drawing his firearm was Borica, and he did so 3 times. The first was his Radio Cars Ithaca 37 shotgun in Season 1's episode Rainy Day, where the CHiPs conduct a felony traffic stop of a motorhome-based casino. The second was in Season 2's premiere, Peaks and Valleys, against 2 hillbillies armed with a Tommy gun and a double-barrel shotgun who had ambushed his unattended patrol car for fun. Here the action was only implied, with his hand motion just below camera range. The last was in Season 4's Karate, in which a karate-trained car burglar attacked him with a bar, but wisely retreated to a getaway van when Borica drew his gun. NBC aired reruns of this series on its 1982 daytime schedule from April to September. During the original run of the series, syndicated reruns of older episodes were retitled CHiPs Patrol to avoid confusion. Later syndicated reruns after the show went out of production reverted to the original title. Initially, before John Parker did his now iconic theme music, award-winning television composer Mike Post, who scored a few episodes in the first season, did a theme which was not used and has still not been distributed. Cast of characters: Larry Wilcox as Officer Jonathan A. Baker/7 Mary 3, Eric Estrada as Officer Francis Llewellyn Poncherello/7 Mary 4, Robert Pine as Sergeant Joseph Gatrano/S4, Lou Saunders as Officer Gene Fritz/5 David 5, Brody Greer as Officer Barry Bear Borica/7 Adam, Paul Link as Officer Arthur Grozzy Grossman/7 Mary 5, Lou Wagner as Harlan Alice, Automobile Motorcycle Mechanic, CHP, Brian Leary as Officer Cindy Cahill/7 Charles, Randy Oakes as Officer Bonnie Clark/7 Charles, Michael Dorn as Officer Jeep Dyer Turner/7 David, Tom Riley as Officer Bobby Hotdog Nelson/15 Mary 7, Tina Gale as Officer Kathy Linahan/7 Mary 10, Bruce Penhall as Cadet Officer Bruce Nelson/15 Mary 8, Clarence Gilliard, Jr. as Officer Benjamin Webster, Bruce Jenner as Officer Steve McLeish. Cast changes: in the 5th season, Estrada went on strike over a dispute over syndication profits. As a result, he did not appear in 7 episodes. For that period he was replaced by Bruce Jenner. Despite their successful pairing on screen, Wilcox and Estrada did not always get along behind the camera. However, it was Wilcox's falling out with the producers over what he saw as continual favoritism towards Estrada that saw Wilcox not return for the 6th and final season. Wilcox was replaced by Tom Riley. Bruce Penhall, the 1981 and 1982 Speedway World Champion, was also introduced as Cadet Euro Probationary Officer Bruce Nelson, Bobby's younger brother in 1982 Euro 83. The season's 6th episode Speedway Fever centered on Penhall's character Nelson winning the 1982 Speedway World Final at the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, with scenes filmed in the pits during the meeting. The episode also used television coverage of the final. Estrada apparently did not approve of Riley's work ethic and was very displeased with Riley's real-life arrest by the LAPD for possession of controlled substances during a traffic stop. As a result, Bobby was featured much less prominently in later episodes of the season, with Bruce taking his place for most of the remaining episodes. Merchandise: a series of 33 of 4 action figures was released by Mego in the late 1970s. Due to the materials used to construct the figures, many of them have discolored or started to decompose over the years, making good-conditioned examples quite hard to find on the collector's market. There was also a series of 6 die-cast model vehicles produced by Imperial Toys. In the UK, as was common with many popular US series of the era, a series of tie-in annuals were produced by World International Publishing Limited, containing stories, photos, puzzles and features on the stars. There are 4 annuals in total, one each for €1980–83. In 2006, a limited edition soundtrack was released on CD by Turner Classic Movies Music Division via Film Score Monthly, featuring the original recordings of the main theme by John Parker and in-episode musical scores from many episodes of the second season, as composed and conducted by Alan Silvestri, the series' primary composer until the final season. Silvestri also arranged the theme as heard from season 2 onwards, and it's this version that's heard here. The soundtrack album also includes the Trick or Treat score composed and conducted by Bruce Broughton, his only work for the series. In 2008, music from the 3rd season was released. An album of music from the 4th season followed in 2010. Broadcast history: all times ET/PT, September 1977 March 1978, NBC Thursday 8 p.m. 9 p.m., April 1978, NBC Saturday 8 p.m. 9 p.m., May 1978 August 1978, NBC Thursday 8 p.m. 9 p.m., September 1978 March 1980, NBC Saturday 8 p.m. 9 p.m., March 1980 March 1983, NBC Sunday 8 p.m. 9 p.m., April 1983 May 1983, NBC Sunday 7 p.m. 8 p.m., May 1983 July 1983, NBC Sunday 8 p.m. 9 p.m., September 2014, current, reruns on MeTV, Mon, Fry 6 p.m. 5 p.m. Central, International. In the United Kingdom, the series was broadcast by ITV. The series started in early 1979 in most regions, and was originally screened in the Saturday tea time slot around 17:35 but moved to the Sunday tea time slot in 1980. By 1981, as with many imported programs of the era, the series was being broadcast at different times and days throughout the year by the different ITV regions, sharing its Saturday slot with other series such as A-Team, Knight Rider, Magnum, P.I. and Whiz Kids. By early 1985 the series was being broadcast during Saturday mornings by Anglia, Central, Grampian, Granada, STV and Tyne Tees. All completed the series by end of the 1985. HTV and Yorkshire completed the series by 1986, while LWT, TVS and TSW finally finished Series 6 in 1987 after starting in 1985. A few companies repeated the series in 1987. DVD releases: Warner Home Video has released the first 2 seasons of CHiPs on DVD in regions 1, 2 and 4. No further season sets have been announced. Seasons 1 and 2 are also available for purchase at the online iTunes Store. CHiPs 99: CHiPs 99 is a made-for-television movie sequel. It was directed by John Cassar and shown on Turner Network Television in the USA on October 27, 1998. Several cast members from the original series make a return. Original cast with promotions were John Baker as a captain and Joe Gatraya as the CHP commissioner. Other original cast members were Officer Frank Poncherello returning from a 15-year hiatus with the CHP and Officer Barry Barica. Revivals: in 2005, a theatrical release motion picture version of the show was announced, starring Wilmer Valderrama as Ponch, though as of 2013 this production was still stalled. Eric Estrada and Larry Wilcox were rumored to make cameo appearances. The choice of Valderrama as Ponch will not be the first time that the actor has played the character of Ponch. In a 2002 episode of MAD-TV, Valderrama and fellow That 70s Show cast member Danny Masterson were featured in 2 parodies of CHiPs, which featured the 2 actors as Ponch and Baker respectively. Mila Kunis also appeared in the second sketch. In a 2002 episode of That 70s Show, Valderrama's character, Fez, was seen in the Most Likely section of the yearbook as most likely to appear as Ponch in a musical version of CHiPs. The 2014 film Planes, Fire and Rescue included a version of the show called Chops, starring 2 police helicopters. Eric Estrada provided the voice of Nick Lupin Lopez. Film adaptation. On September 2, 2014, Warner Brothers announced a film adaptation of the show. Andrew Fenau would be producing along with Dax Shepard. Shepard will also write, direct and star in the film as Officer John Baker. Michael P. +or-A will play Frank Oe Poncherello. References. External links: CHiPs at the Internet Movie Database, CHiPs 99 at the Internet Movie Database, CHiPs Online Wiki, the composers of CHiPs.